Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? Episode 91. What? Willow asked, feeling as if she'd been pushed off a cliff. How can I die, but not be dead? It all goes back to when Astrid and I had those wonderful visions of the future, Nertha said, sitting back in her chair, wine goblet in hand. It feels like yesterday. The sudden flash of 6 objects all in a nice, neat row. Astrid and I standing over a bubbling cauldron, the island we'd hide Val on. Oh, those were the days. Will you stop reminiscing long enough to allow me to answer the girl's question? Astrid asked. Must you take the fun out of this? It's not like I don't know we're on a time crunch, but that doesn't mean you have to be so serious. Will someone please answer my question? Willow asked before they could bicker anymore. Nerthus is right when she says that the answer to your question starts when we saw the future. We knew that the person who would liberate Alfeyju would be special, but we didn't know how special until Skade told us. Skade? Who's Skade? She's the goddess of death, Nerthus answered. She lives in the realm of the dead and greets every soul which passes through her realm. When we arrived here, she informed us that we'd somehow created a soul which would never involuntarily enter her realm. Created? You didn't create me. I was born, just like everyone else. You're only partially right. We didn't create you specifically, but we did create your essence and magic, Astrid said. My essence? You created my essence? You mean I wasn't just born with the magic and other abilities? Nerthus and Astrid looked at each other for a second before Nerthus said, Yes and no. As with everything about you, it's a bit of a contradiction. You were born with the magic within you, but had we not created that magic in essence, you would have been normal. So the magic you possess is not hereditary. It's man-made and divinely given. But then why was there even a search in the first place? If you knew I was the one, then why? That's where you've got it wrong, Astrid interrupted. We didn't know who would receive the soul and magic we created, or when. Those variables were left in the hands of the gods. We knew that they would send what we'd made to Earth when the time was right, when the island was in the perfect position to be freed from all the oppressive rulers and have you take your rightful place as leader. Now you're really beginning to confuse me, Willow said, her eyes moving from one sorceress to the other. From what I was told, the search was to find the person who would defeat the evil queen and put our king back on the throne. Nobody said anything about the Diviana becoming the ruler or leader or whatever you want to call it of Alfeyju. Damn them! Nerthus cried, suddenly banging her fist on the table. I told you this would happen. Astrid, didn't I tell you those stupid so-called scholars would screw everything up? Damn them to hell, when I get my hands on them. There's no reason to yell over spilled milk, Astrid said, taking everything in stride. You can't change what the child was told. Now, if I just... You know you couldn't have, Nerthus said, looking stern. Skade and the others would have had your head, our head, her head, hell, everyone's head. And you know they wouldn't have had a second's regret about doing it too. Perhaps, but I could have prevented. Nothing. That was how it was supposed to happen the whole time, and you know it. The women glared at each other for a minute, obviously forgetting that Willow was at the table, able to hear everything they said. Clearing her throat to get their attention, Willow said, If you're done bickering, can I ask a question? When you were talking about Skade and seeing her, did you say that you'd created someone who would never involuntarily enter the realm of the dead? Astrid and Nerthus nodded, their looks guarded. What does that mean? I don't understand any of this. Nerthus looked at Willow, her eyes soft and compassionate. I know you don't, dear, but the answer to your question is really very simple, when you get to the nitty-gritty of it all. Have you heard of a phoenix? Astrid asked. Willow responded immediately. Yes, it's a mythical bird which is born, dies, and then is reborn in its ashes. It never dies. You are a real-life human phoenix. The analogy isn't exact, but for all intensive purposes, it's close enough, Astrid said. I'm a human phoenix, Willow repeated, unbelieving what she was saying. Then she burst out laughing, unable to contain it within herself. You tell the girl, a girl you helped create, that it'll be damn hard to kill her off, Nerthus pointed out. And what do you get for your troubles? She laughs at you. I'm sorry, Willow said, still laughing, trying to get herself under control. She grabbed her untouched goblet of wine and took a sip. This really is delicious. Where did you say you got it? She asked. Where we got it isn't important, Astrid said, looking concerned. I know. What's important is that I'm a human phoenix. Not exactly, Nerthus said. You did hear Astrid say it wasn't exactly the same, didn't you? See? Before she could continue, there was a sudden flash of light a few feet away from the table. Then an elderly man appeared out of nowhere, actually looking directly at the women for a few seconds. But he didn't say anything to them, or acknowledge their presence. Once he was finished surveying the land, he turned toward the bridge and began to slowly walk to it. With every step he took, he appeared to walk easier, shedding his old age as a snake sheds a dead skin. Younger than when he had first appeared, now no more than in his mid-30s, his booted feet thudded onto the bridge as he walked toward the other side of it. Willow could only follow his progress 3/4 of the way across because the light suddenly became too bright for her eyes to see the man anymore. When she couldn't hear the thudding of his boots anymore, Willow turned to Astrid and Nerthus. Where did he go? Beyond, Astrid said. Into Skade's realm, Nerthus said a second later. So he was dead? Willow asked, suddenly sobered by what she had seen. Astrid and Nerthus nodded. And I can't die, so I'll never go beyond? Not unless you want to, Nerthus said. But even then, Skade can't hold you. You can walk between the two realms, the one of the living and the one of the dead, freely. You must remember, however, that time over there works differently than it does on the earth. What may feel like a few days could be years on Earth, but the reverse can also occur. Nobody knows why. Except perhaps Skade, and she's not revealing her secrets, Astrid said. Now, as we mentioned before, we are on a time crunch, so listen and remember what we say. Once you have fulfilled the full cycle of the Phoenix, you will be immortal. From that point on, when your physical body dies, the flames within will be released, releasing your soul from its confinement. Once you are dead, you will come back here and have to decide whether to return to Earth or visit the land of the dead. At any time during your visit to the great beyond, all you have to do is come back to this side of the bridge, say, "Return to Earth," and you'll be able to go back. And in order to visit the realm of the dead, you must die on Earth. You cannot exist in both planes at the same time, Nerthus said. What about Hawk? Willow asked, unable to help herself. I love him, but if I'm immortal and he's not. Within you, you have the ability to create one, and only one, other phoenix. Choose wisely, because once created, they cannot be destroyed by anyone except the gods, and even then it would be very difficult, if not nearly impossible, Astrid warned. Even if you decide to make this Hawk into a phoenix, any children you have, be they sired by him or any other man, will not be immortal. They will be human, and can be killed as any other human. However, they will have an extended lifespan, as will any children they produce, and so on, Nerthus said. One last thing you should know, Astrid said, now speaking faster than ever before. Now that your return to Earth will complete the Phoenix cycle, you'll receive new magical abilities. These will be connected to the fire, as your old ones were connected to the ice. Unlike the others which you learned as you went, these'll... Suddenly the wind in the forest, which had been a lazy breeze, picked up, making it impossible for Willow to hear the rest of Astrid's sentence. What? Willow yelled, but it was no use. While she could see Astrid's mouth move, she couldn't hear anything. Willow stood up and rushed toward Astrid, determined to get close enough to hear what Astrid had been trying to tell her. But suddenly the wind whipped around Willow, and leaves lifted, creating a wall between her and the other women. Good luck, she heard Nerthus yell. Until again! The leaves then fully encased her, making the world darker than the night. Willow closed her eyes, wondering where she'd end up this time. You have been listening to From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. Read, recorded, mastered, encoded, and produced by Colbyjack.net. This work is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it, just don't try to profit from it. Heaven knows we can't. If you have any questions, comments, or rants you wish to share with us, we can be reached at Colbyjack at Colbyjack.net. That's COLBYTRAX @COLBYJACK.net. Yep, I sing it too. If you want to follow the exploits of Trisha in Twitterland, just search for Lady Trisha W on Twitter, or follow the ever-dashing, courageous, hardworking, intelligent, and immensely humble Colbyjack on the Twitters as well. If you find that you can't, just wait to find out what will happen with Willow, the strong dude and the annoying dude. Be heartened to know that From the Flames is available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Smashwords, as well as from our little shop. Didn't you know about our little shop? Why, yes, we have a little shop located at shop. That's shop.colbyjack.net. That's shop.colbyjack.net. Yeah, real original there. There you will find the latest ebook versions of all our works in both Mobi and ebook, all DRM-free, as well as audiobook versions of such works as Firmware Hijacked and Proxy, as well, naturally, as well as From the Flames. The audiobooks differ from the podcasts in that the headers and bumpers only run once, and the episodes are grouped in hour-long episodes for easy burning to CD or for downloading on the go. If you find you don't need any stuff, but just want to thank us monetarily for our efforts here, just head on over to Colbyjack.net, select either audio or visual, and look for the donate button located on the blog roll. Well, anyway, thank you for listening, have a wonderful week, and remember to be fabulous.